How is it going, YouTube? My name is Majid, and today I decided, along with my beautiful little kitten here, Coco, that we were going to start a quantum computer YouTube channel. And I just am a big tech person. I love technology. It's changed my life for decades, and quantum computers are so fascinating. I really want to learn more about them. I'm personally invested in quantum computers, so I really want to see them be successful. But beyond that, I am just fascinated by the technology and what the possibilities are. And excited to share that journey with you. I'm hoping to really dive into some of the news, maybe get some interviews with some of these companies, and I hope you enjoy this content. On December 9th, 2024, Google released Willow, their state-of-the-art quantum chip. This release sent shockwaves through the quantum computer universe. Quantum computer stocks doubled, tripled, quintupled, went up 1,000% parabolically. And then just a couple days ago, NVIDIA CEO, he said in an interview, if you look at quantum computers, they're 15, 20, 30 years away. And the reaction has been essentially a crash in the whole market of quantum computers and quantum computer stocks. So what's going to happen here? What happens next? And is there truth to what Jensen and Huang is saying? I think it's just a really interesting topic to explore. There was a massive run-up in the last probably month and a half or 2 months where there was a lot of excitement in the market for quantum stocks, quantum computing, the future, just a euphoric, kind of surreal rise. But eventually the euphoria has to come back down to earth. I've heard it posited that this was going to happen whether Jensen made comments or not, and I tend to agree with that. We would need to look at the 200-day and 50-day moving averages to get a real feel for what would be a healthy movement in these stocks. But in the near term, there's been a significant correction that started on, looks like January 8th. We took a big tumble across all quantum stocks, really. There was no company that was immune to Jensen's wrath, and here we are. There's the occasional PR and interview, but really as a whole, there wasn't a huge response from the industry after Jensen made the comment. And this is many billions of dollars of investment and market cap, except for one CEO came back right away, Alan Baratson. Let's listen to what he has to say.
D-Wave's market cap, it stood at around $200 million for most of last year, shot up to nearly $3 billion after that Willow breakthrough, spurred a surge in the sector. It's now down nearly 40% on the session. Alan, thank you so much for joining us and making the time. Tell us what exactly Jensen Huang, the leading authority on the future of computing, is getting wrong here.
So, Deirdre, thanks for the opportunity to be here. I very much appreciate it. I think that Jensen Huang is a very smart individual, and he's built an amazing company. And he may be the authority on many aspects of computing, but certainly not all aspects of computing, and certainly not quantum computing. In this case, he's dead wrong. And
that's a pretty big statement right there, to just come out. And I mean, I don't blame him for coming out swinging here. Like I said, this is a sector that does not have much of a voice. So it's actually a bit refreshing to see a CEO come out and add some balance to the conversation.
And the reason he's wrong is that we at D-Wave are commercial today. We have companies like MasterCard or NTT Docomo or Pattison Food Group or Ford Otosan that are using our quantum computers today in production to benefit their business operations. Not 30 years from now, not 20 years from now, not 15 years from now, but right now, today. And moreover,
yeah, and that's a pretty powerful response coming from the CEO of D-Wave. I think it's a hard balance to strike where it seems like he's kind of pissed off, which I don't blame him. Your company just loses 40% of its value, 45% of its value overnight, as we can see here, because of a comment of essentially a partner and or competitor in the space.
We have been able to solve problems on our quantum computer in the area of materials simulation in minutes that it would take well over millions of years to solve on the fastest supercomputers, which, by the way, happen to be massively parallel GPU computers. So Jensen should think a little bit about that. We are solving those problems in minutes today, and it would take millions of years to solve them on massively parallel systems that he provides. And by the way,
Alan,
I'd be happy to meet with Jensen anytime, any place to help fill in these gaps for him.
It's getting a little bit spicy. So, I mean, what he's saying here is they have different use cases, right? And GPUs and QPUs have different use cases, and there are some practical applications for QPUs that quantum computers and D-Wave is using them right now and has commercial customers right now.
Alan, I got the opportunity to get to know D-Wave a little better over the last month or so, and your approach
We're going to skip forward a little bit to she asked about financials at some point, and I thought this was pretty interesting what his response was.
Looking forward.
Let's see.
acting in the latest quarter.
So first of all, with respect to bookings and revenue, all I will say is that our business is actually growing quite nicely, and I am very much looking forward to sharing our Q4 and fiscal 24.
Was there an exception then?
So she kind of presses him a little bit on this, and who knows? I mean, he's the CEO of the company. It sounds incredibly that he's incredibly confident in numbers from quarter four. I looked a little bit earlier, and I think D-Wave doesn't report earnings for a little while. I think it was. I don't even know if they have the date yet. It was later this spring, maybe February or March, but let's keep listening.
I mean, Q3 revenue was down 27% in your latest quarterly report. What happened?
As I said, Deirdre, I am really looking forward to sharing our Q4 and fiscal 24 financial and operating results when we report earnings. So, just stay tuned. Now, that having been said.
So, pretty clear message that Alan is pushing back on Jensen here. And not only that, but he's confident that the financials are improving. So that's a good sign to see from any quantum company. There's a good part here at the end.
Dead wrong to not totally correct. You walked it back a little bit.
Gate model quantum computers, they are 100% off base for annealing quantum computers, and he
walked it back a little. From dead wrong to not totally correct. You walked all
That's
wrong.
pretty important nuance here.
What I'm saying is that Jensen Huang does not understand what you just said, which is that there are different approaches to quantum. Annealing and gate are the two primary approaches. And while his comments may not be totally off base for gate model quantum computers, they are 100% off base for annealing quantum computers. And he
walked it back a little. From dead wrong to not totally correct. You walked it back a little bit.
Hold on. When it comes to D-Wave and annealing quantum computing, he is dead wrong. We are not 30 years out. We are not 20 years out. We are not 15 years out. We are today. We are supporting businesses today with quantum compute to solve their hard problems. So in that sense, he is dead wrong. There are approaches to quantum computing that it will take longer to
Their faces are so funny to me.
Okay, Alan, I think there's
Let's go back for the freeze frame.
approaches to quantum computing that it will.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think many people had heard of Alan before this, but hey, everyone's heard of Jensen and NVIDIA, and a company's got to start somewhere. So whether he's right or wrong, I applaud him for at least coming out and having a strong message and showing strong leadership. Okay, let's take a quick detour here because I do quantum computing is not a simple thing at all, and I don't claim to be an expert at all. So I kind of want to learn as we go here a little bit. I did find this. We heard Alan talk a little bit about annealing and quantum computing. Let's watch this video from D-Wave and see what they have to say.
As you watch the quantum computing industry, we want to identify patterns that will help you assess how you can leverage quantum computing technology to impact your business and bring it value. A quantum computer is a device that uses quantum effects to accelerate calculations, and there are many different ways or models for how to build quantum computers to use those quantum effects as a resource. Two principal models are quantum annealing and gate model, and they differ in some important ways. They differ in the way that they make use of quantum effects as a resource, they differ in the way that you program them, and they also differ in terms of the applications they support. What's interesting is that they're maturing at different rates. Now, when you're using quantum computers, you're using them in a hybrid manner, where quantum and classical computers are actually working together in a complementary way. That's because they have very different strengths and weaknesses from one another.
Okay, let's spend a little bit of time talking about QBTS, D-Wave Quantum. That's who we've heard from in this video, and I want to look specifically at their stock and price action and kind of talk about the progression over the last few months. So let's go back. First of all, let's look at 5 years. So let's look at all time actually. So we opened here. We were 10 for a while, and then we drop way down. So we're in the six. We're at less than $1. Okay, that's the history of this company. And then we look at the last year, and right around when, let's see what the date is. Right around when Willow is announced by Google, and even honestly a little bit before then, the whole market started to get more and more interested in these quantum computer stocks. So you can see pretty large volume going into 2025. Now let's look at the last month. Still choppy action. So here we had the Fed dread day. Last 2 hours of market, everything plummeted and sold off. And then we had a nice sort of trend up here. We had a good top, even at 11. It even saw 1150 at one point, and then we kind of consolidated here at the top. So for a good, from about Christmas time, even a little bit before, until January 25th, so a solid month, this was trading in the $9 to $10 range. And then Jensen's comments. So the stock plummets 40% at open. We're down almost to from the previous market day, 942, we drop all the way down to mid fours. We had a little bit of a recovery, and then on Friday, we saw even more sell-off. But what I see here is, I see near term, the quantum stocks are going to have a hard time, especially in the market that we've been in, where there's a lot of different headwinds for small cap, mid cap companies. Economy should hopefully be doing better. But when we see markets like we've had this past week, the small caps and these more speculative and risky type of companies to own, they can struggle. And that hasn't been the case for the last month. If you look at the last month, quantum stocks have been going up and up and up and up. Near term, I see the trend continuing down. I see that these stocks could continue to fall. We're a little oversold here on the RSI, but that doesn't mean, if you look down here, let's see if I can get the screen to move down for me. So down here, we are at the bottom of the RSI. I'm going to resize the window here. We're at the bottom we're a little oversold. I don't really think that matters too much. If we look at the volume, there's a lot of sell-off, and we're not really in a situation where a huge rebound is probable. Now, anything's possible in the market. I can't tell the future, but I don't expect these stocks to go up in the near term. However, what I would love to see is these quantum computer companies work on their PR, announce things as they come, have a plan, show investors, show the world kind of what they're doing, why they think it matters, and so on. And I'm hoping to talk to some of these companies and learn more. So that's what I see right now. Obviously, this is an investment advice. It's a very risky sector to be in, but the potential is huge. What I'm personally looking for is some breakthrough, right? Quantum computer, we've seen a lot of wildfires. Somehow quantum computer is used to determine the probabilities of future wildfires, or quantum computer somehow creates or helps researchers find a vaccine for an illness. Any sort of breaking news like that from any of these companies would have a massive effect on all of these stocks. But for the time being, I see them consolidating and going lower, and that does create nice entry points across the board. If they do happen to go up, great. My personal strategy for the time being is just to build positions in these companies at their sale price. And so let's hear from Tom Lee to close out this video. He has some interesting opinions on quantum. I really like how he frames it, because I think it's a great way to look at investing in quantum companies.
I think quantum computing is in the earliest days. I don't think anyone can judge really whether it's 15 years away or 15 months. And
so critical. This is what people need to understand is, in my opinion, the market overreacted to what Jensen said. Okay, there's still, we have so many companies approaching quantum in so many different ways. We're running, it's just like AI. It's just like robotics. We're not kind of just moseying on, taking our time. We're sprinting towards the future. Okay, we're sprinting towards the future on AI. We're sprinting towards the future in modern warfare. We're with AI changing how war happens. We're sprinting towards the future with technology, And guess what? Quantum computers are going to be part of the future. Okay. These specific companies, are all of them going to be around in 10 to 20 years? I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you that, but they are doing amazing things right now and making amazing progress. So let's listen to what Tom has to say.
And I think people have made many mistakes over the past 20 years looking at things like social media and underestimating the adoption rates there, or internet, or even AI now. I mean, just think about 2 years ago, how many people were saying AI was going to actually take far longer than expected.
Yeah, and ChatGPT sucked 2 years ago, okay? It wasn't that good. But if any of my family and friends who have used ChatGPT now in the last month, it's a completely different beast. And that is the exponential rate that technology is progressing.
That being said, I do think the environment for stocks hasn't been great for the last 3 weeks. I think it's really gotten people into a recency bias, thinking, look, we've neared a top, or that stocks are just awful now. I think we're getting close to the point where, you should be betting really and leaning heavily against that. I mean, even look at AI sentiment, it's almost back to negative. But Morgan, regarding Qauntum specifically, it is a pretty innovative technology. I think these are going to be high volatile names. And so until we get back to risk on, they are going to be tougher names to own, but I don't think that means you have to sit them out in 2025.
There you have it. Tom Lee is saying you don't have to sit them out in 2025. A lot of people, again, not investment advice, and everyone needs to do their own research and do whatever they are comfortable with. But I'm super excited about the future with quantum computing and can't wait to share more with y'all.